Good morning, everybody. Myself, Puspa Salu Linda, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Jamshedpur Workers College, Jamshedpur. Now I am here to describing characters or features of family Apocynaceae. Apocynaceae is a large family of angiosperm. It is commonly known as Oleander family. The members of this family are cosmopolitan in distribution, but mostly they are found in tropical regions of the world. There are about 300 genera and 1300 species in this family. The plants may be herb, shrub, trees, or sometimes climbers also. Here we see this is Catharanthus rosas, or we can also say that Vinca rosea. It is a perennial herb. And this is Thivisia peruviana. It is a shrub, large shrub, we say that, or we can say that a small tree. Like that, Nerium indicum is also a shrub. So, plants may be herb, shrub, or tree. Here, generally latex are also found. The characters of this family is also the presence of the latex. Many plants have latex. Now we come to the root. Root is taproot, which is branched. And then we come to the stem. Stem is erect. Here also stem is erect. Not prostrate, but it is erect and branched. Erect and branched and solid. Here it is solid. It may be herbaceous or woody. And here it is glabrous. That means hairs are absent. So glabrous, that means hairs are absent. Now we come to the leaves. If we see the leaves, here we see that at one node, one leaf arises, and one leaf is developed from the node. So it is known as the simple leaves. But here we see that two leaves are developed, or two leaves are originate from the node. So this condition is known as the opposite. Simple leaves and opposite. And here we see that one node has only one leaf. One node has only one leaf, and on the other side we see other leaf is on the other node. One leaf is on the one node, and on the other side other leaf is on the other node. So this condition of arrangement is known as the alternate. So leaves are here also simple, but alternate. Here leaves are simple and opposite. Here leaves are simple and opposite. Leaves are simple and opposite. And here leaves are simple and alternate. Leaves are simple and alternate. Then we see that a petiole is present. So leaf is petiolate. Here the stalk of the petiole is known as the stalk of the leaf is known as the petiole. So leaves are petiolate. Leaves are petiolate. Then we see the surface of the leaf. The surface of the leaf is glabrous. That means the surface of the leaf is smooth. And if we see the margin of the leaf, that is also smooth. That is known as the entire. So we can say that leaf is simple opposite or alternate, petiolate, glabrous, entire, and unicostate reticulate venation. Unicostate reticulate venation. Thus, we see the features or characters of the leaf. Now we come to the inflorescence. Inflorescence. Generally, in this family, inflorescence is cymose. Inflorescence is cymose. That means the floral axis ends in a flower, and thus the growth of the floral axis is checked. So this type of condition or inflorescence is known as the cymose inflorescence. And here the inflorescence is solitary axillary. That means leaf originates or develops from the axil of the leaves, and only one leaf develops. So this condition is known as the solitary axillary. So inflorescence may be cymose. We can also say that in some cases it is solitary axillary. Then we come to the flower. We have to see the features or characters of the flower. Here we see at first the base of the flower. Here we see that in the base of the flower, we see that in the Thivisia, a bract is present. A small leaf-like structure is present at the base of the pedicel. This is pedicel. This is pedicel. This is pedicel. And from the base of the pedicel, we see that there is a small bract. A small leaf-like structure is found, that is known as the bract. And two bracteoles. Also, two small leaf-like appendages. Small leaf-like that are present on the pedicel. So here bract is present, bracteole is present. So flower is bracteate and bracteolate. Bracteate and bracteolate. And this is pedicel. So flower has pedicel. So flower is known as the pedicellate flower. First is bracteate, bracteolate and pedicel. Pedicellate flower. Then we see that four floral parts. All four floral parts are found there. That means calyx. This is calyx. The green part is calyx. Then yellow part is corolla. And then here inside the flower there are 5 stamens and also gynosium. So all four floral parts are found there. Calyx, corolla, endoecium and gynosium. So flower is called as complete flower. And so here both part, male part and female part are found. That means endoecium and gynosium are found. So flower is also called as the hermaphrodite flower or bisexual flower. And here we see that flower can be divided from this longitudinal plane, from this longitudinal plane, from this longitudinal plane into 2 equal halves. So we can say that flower can be divided into 2 equal halves by more than one longitudinal plane. Then flower is called as the actinomorphic flower. Okay, then flower is also hypogynous. That means the position of the ovary here is ovary, and ovary is superior from all floral parts. That means ovary is superior from calyx, from corolla and from endoecium. So flower is hypogynous. Then we repeat that flower is here. In case of Thivisia, flower is bracteate, bracteolate, pedicellate, complete, hermaphrodite, actinomorphic, hypogynous and pentamerous. Pentamerous means here sepals are 5, petals are also 5 and stamens are also 5. So flowers are pentamerous. Okay, bracteate, bracteolate, pedicellate, complete, bisexual or hermaphrodite, hypogynous, actinomorphic and pentamerous in Thivisia. Now in Catharanthus, we see that here flowers are also pedicellate. Flowers are also pedicellate. First of all, we have to see if bract is present. or not. Bract is present or not. Here bract is not present. That means bract is absent. So this flower is known as ebracteate flower. Now here bract is absent, so it is known as ebracteate flower. But in this case, bract is present. Here bract is present, so this flower is bracteate. And here bract is absent, so it is known as the ebracteate flower. Here bracteoles are also absent. But here pedicel is present, so it is also known as the pedicellate flower. So ebracteate, then pedicellate. Then we see 4 floral parts: calyx, corolla, endoecium and ganoecium. So it is known as the complete flower. And both male part and female parts are present, so it is also hermaphrodite. And it is also actinomorphic. From this plane, from any plane. It can be divided into 2 equal halves. So it is actinomorphic flower. Then ovary is superior. So it is hypogynous flower. And here also sepals are 5, petals are 5 and stamens are 5. So it is pentamerous flower. So again, so we repeat the characters of flower. First is ebracteate. Ebracteate. Then pedicel present, pedicellate. Then complete, that means all 4 floral parts are present. Calyx, corolla, endoecium and ganoecium. So it is complete. Complete, then bisexual or hermaphrodite, then actinomorphic, then hypogynous and pentamerous. So we describe the characters of the flower. Now we come to the calyx. Character of the calyx. If we see calyx, the calyx are the green part. The green part of the flower. These are the calyx. Here we see calyx. One individual part of the calyx is known as the sepal. So here we see 5 sepals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here sepals are 5 and sepals are free. So it is known as the polysepalous condition. And then we have to see the estivation. Here we have to see the estivation, that means the arrangement of the sepals, how they are arranged. Here we see that arrangement are quinquential. That means 2 sepals are completely interior, while 2 are completely exterior, while one is partly interior and partly exterior. So this condition is quinquential. But here, in case of Vinca rosea, here calyx. Here calyx are, if we see the calyx, here calyx, we see calyx. Then here velvet estivation is found. Here velvet estivation is found. That means one sepal comes after the other. That condition is known as the velvet estivation. And here also sepals are 5. Here also sepals are 5 and sepals are free. So they are also called as polysepalous. Sepals 5, polysepalous and velvet estivation. And here sepals are 5. Sepals are 5 and quinquential estivation, and also they are polysepalous. Okay. Now we come to the corolla. This is corolla and here this is corolla. Here we have to see the petals. Petals, one individual part of the corolla is known as the petal. Here petals are 5. Petals are 5 and petals are united. Here petals are united and form the corolla tube. This is corolla tube. This is corolla tube. This is corolla tube. Petals united to form the corolla tube. Here also. Petals. 5 petals united to form the corolla tube. This is corolla tube. 5 petals united to form a corolla tube. So here petals are 5 because they are united, so it is known as the gamopetalous. Petals 5, gamopetalous. And here we see on the corolla tube, on the corolla tube, on the corolla tube, on the throat of the corolla tube, throat of the corolla tube, we see these are the stamens. These are the stamens, and hairy appendages are also found. The throat of the corolla tube, stamens are arranged. Stamens are here arranged in alternate manner. That means one petal, then one stamen, then again one petal, then one stamen. Here stamens are attached with the petals on the throat of the corolla tube. So this condition is also known as the epipetalous condition of the stamens. Okay, here stamens are arranged on the petals in an alternating manner. So here petals 5, gamopetalous, petals are united and form a corolla tube, and on the throat of the corolla tube stamens are found, and hairy appendages are also found in the corolla tube. In Vinca rosea we also see that these petals form corolla tube, and here inside the corolla tube at the throat, stamens are arranged. 5 stamens are found alternating with the petals. And here we see the estivation. Estivation, here is velvet estivation of the petals. Velvet estivation, that means one petal comes after the next. Here there is no overlapping. One petal, then other petal, then third, fourth and fifth. This is here estivation is velvet. But here in case of Thewisia, estivation is twisted. Estivation is twisted. One petal overlaps the other petal overlaps the next petal, and like this. Now one petal overlaps the other, and then other, next other. So this condition of overlapping is twisted estivation. So here in this here estivation of corolla is velvet, and here is twisted. Then we come to the androecium. Androecium. Here stamens are 5. Stamens are 5. 5 stamens are found. Here stamens are 5. Here stamens are 5. 5 stamens are found, and 5 stamens are alternate with the petals, and these are free from each other. So this condition is known as the polyandrous. Stamens 5, polyandrous, and attached with the petals. So this condition is known as the epipetalous condition. When stamens are attached with the petals, then the condition is known as the epipetalous condition of the stamens. And here filaments are small. Filaments are small, and anthers are dithecous. Anthers are dithecous. That means 2 anther lobes are present in one anther. 2 anther lobes are present in one anther. That is known as the dithecous. And attachment is either basifixed or dorsifixed. From the base of the anther or from the back of the anther. That is dorsifixed or basifixed. Now we come to gynoecium. Generally, gynoecium has 3 parts: stigma, style, and ovary. Here we have to write about the gynoecium. That is, it consists of 2 carpel. The carpels may be free, apocarpus, or syncarpus. That means fused. Now ovary is generally superior, sometimes partly inferior, as in plumeria. The style is long and thin, while the stigma is generally bifid, but here it is dumbbell shaped. In case of Catharanthus, it is dumbbell shaped, but in general cases, the stigma is bifid. Here we see the nectary. Here we see the nectary. Two nectary are present. One on the anterior side of the ovary and one on the posterior side of the ovary. There are two nectary. One is on the anterior side of the ovary and other is on the posterior side of the ovary. So here we can write in Gynoecium carpels. Two, that means bicarpellary, syncarpus or apocarpus. Nectarials are also present, and here we see that ovules are here. Ovules are originated from the placenta. Placenta is generally found in these places. So, in this condition, the placentation is marginal. The placentation is marginal. Here, the placentation is marginal. Here, ovaries are free. Here, ovaries are free, and placentation is marginal. But in many cases, placentation is axile placentation is also found. Now we come to the floral diagram. Here we see that this denotes actinomorphic. That means flowers can be divided into two equal halves by more than one plane. So it is sign of actinomorphic. Then it is the outermost ring that denotes the ring of calyx. One individual part is sepal. Here sepals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the floral formula of Catharanthus rosas. Here sepals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And sepals are free. They are not united. So polysepalous. Sepals 5. Polysepalous. And estivation is valvate. Here estivation is valvate. Here one sepal comes after the other sepal. That means here sepals are not overlapped by one another. This condition of estivation is known as the valvate estivation. Then we come to the corolla. Here petals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here petals are united. So gamopetalous. Petals 5. Gamopetalous. And estivation is here twisted. One margin overlaps that of the next one. Here one margin of one petal overlaps the margin of next petal. So this condition is known as the twisted estivation. And here we see that here stamens. Stamens are also found in the petals. Stamens are attached with the petals. Stamens are alternate with the petals. One stamen, then one petal, one stamen, then one petal, one stamen, then one petal. That means stamens are alternate with the petals. And Stamens are here dithecous. Stamens are here dithecous. In case of Catharanthus, stamens are dithecous and dorsifixed. Then here we see, and the attachment of the stamens with the petals is known as the epipetalous condition. Then we see this is the TS of ovary. Here ovaries are free from each other and here marginal placentation is found. This is ovule. These are ovules. Here placentation is marginal and this denotes nectrile. One posterior anterior side and one is on the posterior side. So this is the floral diagram of Catharanthus roseus. Catharanthus roseus. Now we see the floral formula of Catharanthus roseus. The flower of Catharanthus roseus is ebracteate. EBR denotes ebracteate. That means bract is absent. Then actinomorphic. This denotes actinomorphic. Then bisexual. Then K for calyx. Here sepals 5. Polysepalous means sepals free. Then C for corolla. Petals 5. Gamopetalous. Petals 5. Gamopetalous. A for androecium. Stamens 5. Polyandrous. Polyandrous means free. Stamens are free from each other. Then gynoecium. Carpels 2. Syncarpus ovary superior. And here that is epipetalous. That means stamens are attached with the petals. Stamens are attached with the petals. So this denotes epipetalous. So we can say that ebracteate, actinomorphic, bisexual, sepals 5, petals 5, gamosepalous, stamens 5, polyandrous, carpels 2, syncarpus ovary superior. This is the floral formula of Catharanthus roseus. And now we see the floral diagram of Thivisia. Floral diagram of Thivisia parviviana. Okay, floral diagram of Thivisia parviviana. Here we see that in this flower, bract is present. One bract is present and 2 bracteoles are also present. These are 2 bracteoles. Then outermost ring is for the calyx. Here sepals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And sepals are free from each other. They are not united. So this condition is polysepalous. Sepals 5, polysepalous. And here estivation is quinquncial. That means 2 sepals are completely internal. 2 sepals are completely internal. Their both margins are on the inner side. And 2 sepals are completely external. 2 sepals are completely external. Their margins are completely external. While 1 sepal is partly internal and partly external. 1 sepal is partly internal and partly external. This type of inflorescence is, this type of arrangement is known as the quinquncial. Okay, then we see the arrangement of here corolla. Here petals 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and estivation is twisted. One overlaps the other overlaps the next other. So this is the twisted estivation of corolla. Here petals are also united, so that is gamopetalous. And here stamens are also alternate with the stamen. Stamens are also alternate with the petals. Stamens are also alternate with the petals. And here stamens are attached with the petals. So this condition is known as the epipetalous condition of stamens. And here in petals hairs are also present. So this denotes hairs. Here also anthers are dithecous. And now we come to the TS of the ovary. Here carpels 2. And here exile placentation. lactation. And now we come to the floral formula of Thewisia. Floral formula of Thewisia. Here bract present, so BR for bract. Then bracteolate. Then actinomorphic. Then bisexual. Calyx. Sepals 5. Polysepalous. C for corolla. Petals 5. Gamopetalous. A for androecium. Then stamens 5. Polyandrous means free. And then gynoecium. Carpels 2. Syncarpus ovary superior. Bracteate, bracteolate, actinomorphic, bisexual, sepals 5, polysepalous, petals 5, sepals 5, gamosepalous, petals 5, gamopetalous, and here stamens 5, polyandrous, and here carpels 2, syncarpus ovary superior. Bracteate, bracteolate, actinomorphic, bisexual, sepals 5, polysepalous, petals 5, gamopetalous, stamens 5, polyandrous, carpels 2, syncarpus ovary superior. This is the floral formula of Thewisia. Now we come to the classification and identification. Now we come to the classification and identification. Classification and identification. First of all, we have to see class. Apocynaceae family come to the class Dicotyledons. Dicotyledons. So, character is first venation reticulate. Venation reticulate means in leaf reticulate venations are found. In leaf reticulate venations are found, and flowers are pentamerous. That means sepals 5, petals also 5, stamens also 5. So flowers are pentamerous. So both these conditions, Apocynaceae belongs to the class Dicotyledons. Then class Gamopetalae. Gamo means united, fused. Gamopetalae. So here petals are fused. United petals are found. Then Bicarpellate. Bicarpellate order is Bicarpellate. That means carpels 2. 2 carpels are found here. And ovary usually superior. Ovary usually superior. So both these conditions are for the series Bicarpellate. Series Bicarpellate. Then order. Order Gentinales. First, leaves opposite. Generally, in this family, leaves are opposite. Then flowers actinomorphic. Flowers actinomorphic. Then stamens epipetalous. That means stamens are attached with the petals. Then family Apocynaceae. Inflorescence cymose. In the family Apocynaceae, we see that inflorescence is cymose. Then stamens not gynandrous. Stamens not gynandrous. Then ovules are 2 in each locule. That means 2 ovules are found in each locule. Then ovaries 2, free but united by the style. Ovaries 2, free but united by the style. And then latex present. Ovaries 2, free but united by the style. We see there. 2 ovaries. 2 ovaries. 2 ovaries are free but they are united by the styles. So this is the characters of the family Apocynaceae also. And also latex is present. So these are the characters of the family Apocynaceae.